We're moving on. Here we go. You ready? Let's talk about some beautiful kite earrings. Right? We're doing the ear. Oh no, we're doing my necklace. Oh gosh, we need that. Okay, here we go. So, here we go.
All right.
All right, you ready, Jay? Sorry about that.
I'm ready. Are we rocking?
Clearance price, last time you're gonna see it. Here we go, and it is almost gone. 5 flex pays. We have taken 50% off, $100 off, and it's our favorite, our Lapis Together. Yay!
Okay, so think about this. This is Andean blue, so it's a Chilean turquoise. It was some of the very first material that we got out of this mine. And here again, the key thing here is this is the natural color, okay? This isn't some faux turquoise. This is what everybody right now is, I don't know how to say, they're faking, counterfeiting.
Are they really?
Making, of course, that's, okay, when you make counterfeits, do you make counterfeits of things that don't have perceived value? Or do you counterfeit things that everybody goes, oh my gosh, what did you pay for that?
Well, I tried counterfeiting those dollars. It didn't go well. The federal government wasn't exactly thrilled with me.
Well, you know, I never thought about that. Of course, they counterfeit larger bills, right?
Yeah, they knew, like, who's dumb enough to try to do dollars? Only kidding, anybody watching, Feds. I did not ever do that. But to your point.
I probably shouldn't be sitting next to you, too close to here. Okay, so anyway, what we've done here is, this is a combination of this Andean blue. These are all the natural nuggets. All we've done is just shaped them, you know, just taken them and done what they call edge grinding with genuine lapis lazuli. If you look at the grade of this lapis, I mean, super high grade. Look at this pendant, and this is all hand done, sterling silver.
That's so pretty.
Oh my God! Look at this. Okay,
I could put my lipstick on. It's so shiny.
No, you could shave in that. And the only way to get that, but I shave. You couldn't shave. You don't need to. But
well. You haven't seen me with a couple-day growth.
But this is just.
It's
I mean,
sold out
some
today.
of these prices.